Hi, so my name is Anita Malavoloneque, and I am currently a third year CASA and a CNM trainee at the Lloyd Namibia. So the purpose of this video is for me to just share with you guys as much as I possibly can in these little minutes that I actually have about the CA profession, how I found my way through it, and at all. So I'm currently doing my articles with one of the big four firms, and it's been challenging, but I mean, there's also like a whole bunch of opportunities that you get out of it. So yeah, I just wanted to share with you guys as much as I possibly can about my journey. So I studied at Wits University. That's where I did my Bachelor of Accountancy degree, my CTA, and I also ended up doing my master's with this university. You don't need to do your master's in this whole CA journey. I was selected to be an academic trainee at Vets, and I got introduced to the whole master's like program, and that's how all of this ended up happening. But yeah, you don't need to do your master's at Vets, or you don't need to do your master's post CTA for you to pursue this this career. So yeah, I went to this university. I did my degree, my CTA, and my master's there. So how did I find my varsity experience going through this whole CA route? Um, I found it challenging. Like in my first days at university, like everyone is super excited. So everyone just starts sharing like how many distinctions they got to be able to get to university and so forth. I had 5 out of 7, and you really think that's good because it is really, really good. But when you get to university, then you find people that went to maybe like a private school that you didn't go to, and they have about 7, 8 distinctions, some even 9, and you don't really have those because you only studied really 7 subjects. And I also didn't do like maths paper 3, or I didn't do like maths advanced level. Like my education was basically like government school. Like I went to a semi-private high school, so we did the government schooling like academics. Whilst if you went to private school, I think they used to call it NBT, or I really forgot. It's been years now. So it's basically like it's a different system, and I really believe it's like more advanced than what we did. So in my very first days at university, like hearing all of this from other kids, I started to feel very overwhelmed, and I was like, oh my goodness, am I worthy enough for me to be here? And I remember my very, very first accounting test, and I'm never gonna forget it. I was just sitting there and I was writing. I was like, I'm not smart enough to study Bachelor of Accounting Sciences at this. I'm not smart enough to be here. So my biggest challenge, it was actually myself and my self-confidence, like just like being knowing and telling myself that listen, you can actually do this because you got here for a reason. And I'm not gonna lie, because I wasn't coming with that advanced mathematics like experience, and like you're not really forced to think if you're doing like if you're doing the government schooling like papers like routes. You do some past papers and so forth, and I mean you're gonna get a distinction, or that was my experience. So I didn't really apply my mind as much, especially in the way that this was requiring me to now apply my mind. So I had to put in the work, and I really did. Like in my first year, I was always like, I was doing my stats. I wasn't really doing it for accounting because I had done accounting like my since grade 8. So when I was doing accounting first year, I was just like it was a bit easy. I'm not gonna lie, but with the other subjects like computational mathematics and economics, like it really required me to think in a level, even statistics in a level that I wasn't used to. So I really had to put in the work. I attended my tutorials, and I mean, Vits had tutors, and we also, like, you had a lot of resources, like, and I made use of all of those resources. And yeah, like, I did very well. In my first year, like I got a few A's, I got B's, I didn't fail any of my modules, like it was a good year. And when I got the second year, because I was already used to putting in the work, I continued to do what I was already doing from first year, which was putting in the work. But I saw some of my friends, they started struggling now because the accounting actually became financial reporting. It wasn't like accounting one anymore. It's actually financial reporting where you have to now start applying IFRS and you have to read the IFRS because how are you going to get the concepts otherwise? And at VETS, we didn't like have a textbook in second year for accounting. We had our accounting standards, and that was what you needed basically because everything is coming from there. So this gives you the tools, and they want you to apply your mind. So because I was already used to like doing my tutorials and putting in the work, like once again, like second year, I didn't fail anything. I did extremely well. I think it's the year that I got the most A's. And yeah, but I also saw like quite a few of my friends, especially the ones that were coming from like some of those schools that I wasn't coming from in the past, like they didn't make it. And it's not to put it in a bad way, it's just to say that they found first year really easy and they were accustomed to doing that and they thought that by doing exactly that it was going to work in second year and it obviously didn't because you are being introduced to tax that you've never seen before, you're being introduced to finance, you're being introduced to um, actual IFRS, actual financial reporting. And if you keep on doing what you're doing in first year because you already had the knowledge in accounting or in math, so you didn't really have, or in statistics, and you didn't really have to put in that much work, it obviously is not going to work for you when you get to second year. So when I got to third year, it was the same thing. I already had a routine that I had established. I already knew when I was going to be having my meals. I had good friends. I had a nice balance of social life versus studying. And I actually had all, I'm a part of this Catholic um, organization, if I can put it that way. So I used to go there every single Saturday and I used to study basically from 9 o'clock until 5, and then they would drop me at res. So I had a system that worked and it continued to work in third year, it continued to work in fourth year. So I think this is like what, if I had to share something with you, it would be to find something that works for you. And if you're obviously not doing as well as you would expect it, it's obviously because you're doing something wrong in between. So you obviously have to fix that for you to be able to like get the output that you ultimately want. So in third year, I mean, it wasn't a breeze. I put in a lot of hours. I used to spend a lot of times at the library. I think the people who know me from res, they even knew like I was always locking myself in my room. I was either studying or I was actually like in the library, and I had a study buddy at res, like my engineering friends. So I actually had a great support system at res, at university, like in my personal life with my family, my friends. So that's what I think really, really, really worked for me. And I also think a lot of times, like I saw a lot of the people like or a lot of people at raves and so forth, like you get very consumed by the party life and the whole university life, and you begin to let go of your academics. I knew I couldn't really do that because I had a scholarship, and it was actually given to me by my uncle, but it was a very serious scholarship, and there were grades that we had to get everything about 55%, and it was a very serious like thing. And it wasn't just because he was my uncle, like he really wanted the best for me and my sister, and he really like wanted us to give our utmost best. So he used to call and follow up on like how I was doing at school and so forth. And I think that also helped me because I was like, I know I have a scholarship, so I cannot fail, because if I fail, I'm going to lose my scholarship and it's just going to cause more of like a financial constraint on my parents. And I don't want that for them. So I worked really, really hard because I just wanted to pass and I didn't want to lose my scholarship. And I mean, I'm really grateful for that, because if it wasn't for that, like sometimes you have a tendency of taking things for granted. So when I got to CTA, it wasn't a breeze. I continued to put in the hours. I think I used to leave the library at like midnight. Every single Saturday, I used to work from 9 until 11 o'clock. And on Sundays, I used to go to church every day at 6 o'clock, but I also used to study from 9 until about 5, and then I would go to res because I used to stay at the Catholic residence. So, I mean, it was also easy for me to like still navigate around my Christian life and everything else that I was doing in between. So came CTA, I did well. I got selected amongst 20 academic trainees to be academic trainees at this university. And it was really a privilege, and it was something that I still can't believe it happened, because as I began telling you about my story, I was like, when I walked into this, I was like, am I smart enough to be here? I just came from a like private school. I did the government papers. I didn't do this whole private schooling that I forgot what to call it. But I mean, when we got to CTA, like, or when I was in second year and first year, like I was performing, like it didn't take anything away from me. And I also know like some of my friends that were also coming from very normal schools, and they were like top students at Wits. And by that I mean like making to like the, what you call those award ceremonies that they have and stuff like that. So it doesn't really matter where you're coming from. Ultimately, like if you're working hard from the beginning, you're going to continue to work hard, and it's going to work for your benefit. While if you're used to just like, you know, like almost like an easy way in things, you're going to continue doing that, and it's not going to work for you when you get a little bit further into the whole university system. And I speak about this because I study there, and I it was hard. Like I, yeah, those wits papers, I promise you, when I wrote my APC, my APC paper, I was like, this is the easiest paper I've ever written in my life. And I wrote my APC paper, I think it was, yeah, it was last year in November. And in comparison to the papers that I used to write with this, I was like, this, like, no. I couldn't believe it, because that's the extent of testing that you go through at WITS. And yeah, it was a wonderful experience for me, and it opened a lot of opportunities for me. But I mean, I also want to highlight that it doesn't matter where you went to school. Like it really doesn't matter. Why do I say this? Because nobody cares when you get to the workplace. Nobody cares if you went to Wits, if you went to UCT, if you went to wherever you went to, like nobody cares about that. You are known for the work ethic, for your work ethic, or for how you actually or ultimately deliver your work. That's what you're known for. So yeah, it's been an amazing journey. Has I don't know if I mentioned it earlier in the video, but I'm currently doing my third year of articles, and the CA journey, I mean, it's opened so many opportunities for me. It's actually allowed me to have conversations with people that I wouldn't be able to like reach out on my day to day. To be honest, I'm only in my 20s, but I'll sit and I'll have a conversation with a financial director or a CEO or a CFO of big corporations, and it's basically people that are running the economy in this country. And I can't believe that at such a young age, I am able to reach out to people like that and to actually learn from them, because ultimately you're still learning. And it also allows me to, or it allows you as an individual to learn at a faster rate. Because even if I am to think of how I was like when I was the first year, and how I see life and perspective now as a third year, it's completely changed. And you think, oh my goodness, 7 years is a really long time, it's draining, and yes, it is draining, I'm not going to lie to you, but it makes sense to me, because when I left university with CTA, I feel like personally I wasn't yet mature enough for me to be able to deal with situations that I'm able to deal with now, especially having worked with a whole bunch of different personalities and a whole bunch of different people. It forces you to grow really, really quickly, and yeah, you become the best version of yourself. So I don't want to make this video very, very long. There's a lot of things that I also want to share with you guys. I want to share with you how has been my experience in corporate, how have I found it, what advice can I share with you, especially if you are like a university student that's just about to join corporate, or if you are a trainee and you're struggling with, I mean, the overtime, and even juggling your personal life and overtime, which is something that I was not able to do in my first year and second year at all. And even knowing how to say no when you have to, because I mean, your mental health also comes first. So this is the purpose of this. Um, I want to say of this channel. It's just to help other young people, young women that are about to embark into this corporate world to just have a little bit I mean, that you know with you, so that, I mean, you're able to do your very best and yeah, just nail it. So with that being said, thank you so much for watching my video. And yeah, I am hoping to upload another one very soon. I don't know, I might not, but I hope that you learned from this video. And I will see you soon again.